Power Breakfast. Top talk of the morning.
Talking about getting young people into education or getting young people from education into the workplace, we know that the Presidential Youth Employment Initiative has relaunched its employment scheme that gets young people as teachers' assistants. So 200,000 young people last week were launched into the system. And it seems that SADTU is very excited about this development. We wanted to understand, how do these teacher assistants help the education system? So Nomusa Cembi joins us this morning, spokesperson of SADTU. Nomusa, you have all, as SADTU, congratulated the presidency for this new step, a new cohort of young people into the system. How has this program helped in the past, and what kind of role do the teacher assistants play in the education space?
Good morning, Tessa, and good morning to your listeners. Yes, we welcome the resumption of this program, which was introduced at the height of COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. It has helped a lot. Teachers welcomed this a lot because it's assisting, more especially in schools in overcrowded classrooms.
Mm-hmm.
These teacher assistants assist teachers in managing the learners, in assisting the teacher, to prepare for the lesson before, mm-hmm. and in assisting to manage the class, to collect the learning materials, to log in the results, when the teacher marks, to log in the results and all. So and even during break, to manage the learners as they play in the courtyard in the school.
Yeah.
So teachers really welcome this, and we felt that, in fact, it shouldn't be just a once-off thing or a temporary thing. It should be a permanent feature in our schools, just like it happens in Western countries.
Nomusa, I could not agree with you more. This, for me, was such an exciting development when it first came, and I was really disappointed that it was, a short-term intervention, that these young people were deployed in for 3 months at a time or so, because 3 months is not even long enough for you as an ordinary worker to find your feet in a new job. And I just think it's a missed opportunity if we don't think about how to make this a regular part of the education system. And do you, as SADTU, see in this initiative some opportunities to close some fundamental gaps in the education system, especially the after-school system for public schools in low resource environments?
Yes, we see it in that line, that in that light, that it's to close that gap. That's why we would like to see this being a permanent feature, because it is crucial. And it is, in the education system.
And are these young people trained in any way to take up these roles? Because, of course, we're excited to have them in the system, but they are dealing with minors. They are in contexts where they are with vulnerable populations and communities. And I don't think all of them are trained in education. These are not education graduates. So is there any kind of training that's provided for these young people in the time that they're deployed into schools?
No, they are not. They are not education graduates. Some have completed matric, and they treat this as a part of a gap year thing.
Yeah.
So they are not trained. They are there. We would expect teachers to give them proper guidance, and impart valuable skills so that they can use those skills for future employment opportunities somewhere. But we would like to see a proper training of education assistants, and them to be made a permanent feature. But at the moment, there are many relying on teachers and the principals and the school management teams just to show them the way as to how they should work in the school environment.
And one would think we're 5 years down the line since this initiative first came about. So you would think that the presidency would have invested already in this idea of using this as an opportunity to upskill these young people, and to make sure it's the same cohort of young people. Because I don't know if you've seen this in the system, but it seems to be that there's a revolving door of the young people. So it's not the same young people who are returning in each of these cohorts. So you're having to start with a new group of young people, and then they get kicked out the system, and you don't really absorb them, yeah?
Yes, it is like a revolving door, but a few of those who were there in the previous cohort have come back, but it is indeed like a revolving door. It's like the department wants to give as many opportunities to the young people to earn some living, but at the end of the day, it is not sustainable because they go back, they are in a school for 6 months and then they go back and sit at home because there are few employment opportunities out there.
No, thank you so much, Sis Nomusa, for that, because I do think that this idea of just giving young people job opportunities or work opportunities is actually being, counterintuitive. It's counterproductive just to give you an opportunity, but they're not actually to give you a sustainable job down the line. So, yes, SADTU might be happy to have this cohort of young people to help, but SADTU also here calling for a much more sustainable solution to having teacher assistants as a real profession in this country that supports the schooling system. So that was Sis Nomusa Cembi, the spokesperson of SADTU, and I could not agree more. We absolutely need to move beyond just work opportunities. Every time I hear the term job opportunities or work opportunities, I genuinely get irritated. So irritated, because that's how you create a continuous cycle of young people who have a taste of an opportunity, but they're never actually a sustainable path to being a part of the labor force long term.